I went to Osaka. So I take the speed train down there, and I actually screwed up pretty big because you're supposed to get a ticket for your train before you go, but I have a Japanese rail pass, which is good for getting on the train. So I forgot to get my ticket to secure my seat before I went. So I just got on the train, and I was just taking it down there, and like the conductor guy was going through the aisles, and it kind of dawned on me like I forgot to actually reserve a ticket. I think I would have been okay since I had a rail pass, but you're supposed to get your ticket. So I was a little nervous, sitting in my seat like, please don't check me, please don't check me. He didn't check me, so I could have not have had a pass at all. So yeah, there's that. So I get to Osaka, and I go to Universal Studios first, and they have this thing called Cool Japan there, which is kind of the reason why I wanted to go. And it has like Evangelion, Attack on Titan, Monster Hunter, and a few other things there. It's mostly themed after I guess old stuff like Sesame Street. I think it might be a Looney Tunes or something like that. It's a Universal Studios, so whatever they have there, they mostly have there. And there's a big Harry Potter thing. I ended up not going to that just because I got there like an hour or so after it opens, and that's one of those things where the Harry Potter thing, you have to get there very early if you want to get in. So I could have gone there and taken like a random ticket at some random time to go in there, but I didn't really feel like it. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I do own the series, but I never finished watching it. That's something I have to do. So I go in, and the first thing I do is I go to the ATM machine, because at this time I've spent a few $100s, so I was figuring I better draw some more money, and my card gets denied. So then I use another card, and that gets denied. So at this point, I'm starting to freak out because I only have like maybe $200 in cash on me. I'm thinking like, wait, am I not going to be able to draw more money? Now what am I going to do? I mean, I have enough money to get by. So I have my rail pass, I have some food money, but it's like I can't buy anything. I wanted to buy souvenirs and whatnot. So I'm kind of panicking. That kind of messed up my Universal Studios time, because then I'm seeing all this memorabilia I want to pick up, but it's like, oh, I don't want to be broke in Japan. So that happens. So first thing I do is I go to the Attack on Titan thing, and I see the figures. It just has the figure of one Titan fighting another Titan, and like another Titan like eating people, and you can like stand in the hand of the eating Titan, and people can take pictures. That place was packed. I mean, there was there were people like lined up waiting to get eaten by Titan. Go figure. And I think the staff, at first I thought it was just cosplayers, but after a while I realized that there were like staff people dressed up like the special forces people standing around, kind of ushering people here, ushering people there. And you can buy, there's like a stand that sells memorabilia and another stand that sells food. I think you buy like a hot bun and stuff like that. I ended up not eating there. It smelled really good, but I ended up not getting to eat there. And right next to that is where I went next, which is the Evangelion 4D ride amusement park attraction thing. It was very deceptive, because when you get there, the way they have the line set up, you can only see like right in front of you. So there's like 4 different layers or so, and there's like next to nobody there. So I get in line, and I walk past all this empty space. I'm kind of like, oh man, I'm glad I got here earlier. I only have maybe like 30 minutes and I'll be inside the show. No, I think it's probably 2 hours. It's like you start where you can see, and then you go behind the building and have all these waving lines here. Then you go into the front of the building, which they have another line there, which by the time I got to that point, more people had shown up, so they didn't bother trying to hide that. You can see people lined up there. And then you go to the front of the theater, and they count heads, and you finally go inside. So it was probably a 2-hour wait. And I was there at probably 11:30 or so that's, be prepared for that. But finally I got inside, and they hand you little 3D shades, and there's like a screen in front. They show some clips from Ava. I'm imagining they were cut just for this, but first it's like 4:3, like TV ratio. Kind of, that's kind of lame, kind of cheap, man. It should at least be 16:9 or whatever. And it's just Masaka. I don't. Ava was a long time ago. It was the lady with the red vest who drinks the beer. I think it's Masato, maybe. And she's kind of explaining, oh, this is the Evangelion ship training thing, you're gonna show and see this. So I'm seeing this, I'm standing in this dark theater, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, this is kind of lame. I'm just gonna sit there and watch this screen where they have like different model kits and some descriptors of the show and stuff like that. But then you go into another room, and this room is like a bigger screen. It's like a proper theater screen, if I remember correctly. And then you have to put on like a little bit of a presentation where there's like these big pillars up on the sides. I think it might be the first room actually. Big pillars on the sides, and they light up. Have you seen the show? There's like these when the higher ups in the organization talk to each other. They have the little numbered cubes that show who's talking. So you realize like they have a little skit of this conversation of these people talking, and then you look behind you, and this Shinji's father is like a model of Shinji's father is just up top, giving an explanation like he's talking to these people. And that was kind of cool. Nice little twist. It kind of surprised me. I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's something to this. Then you go inside a theater. You sit down, and it's pretty much big screen, shaking seats. They splash water on you, and you're like you're supposed to be like on a ship, monitoring the Ava units as they fight each other, as they fight a monster. So it's going this way and that way, and every time blood splatters, they spray you with water. So you're like, oh no, it's kind of cool. Nothing too original, but it's that kind of ride thing. So that was actually pretty neat. A little violent, surprisingly, because that seemed like a little kid attraction, but there's a lot of Ava units eating each other, so there was that. So I saw that, and that was pretty much the main kind of otaku thing stuff there. I didn't really have any interest in Monster Hunter, so I didn't go see that, which I think was just a statue that people were posing in front of. So yeah, did that. I think I did like the Spider-Man ride. I was going to see Waterworld. They had like a Waterworld live action show, but I was kind of like, that's okay. So yeah, I just walked around a little bit, and since I was broke at this point, or at least I thought I was broke, I didn't want to spend any more money on anything. So just walked around for like another hour or two. I saw like a Ghirardelli sign. I don't know if you know what Ghirardelli is, but it's like an ice cream shop. In my opinion, it's probably the best ice cream shop I've ever been. I had it for the first time when I was in San Francisco last year. It was delicious. I went to Vegas last year. I saw another one there and ate that there. So when I'm in Japan and I see the sign, I'm like, my brain is like, that's a fake sign, because they have like a miniature, like artificial San Francisco part of the park. So my mind is like, that's not really a Ghirardelli over there. But at the same time, in my heart, I'm like, maybe there's a Ghirardelli there. So I walk all the way down there. Of course, it's not really a Ghirardelli. There's just like some like Sesame Street dot ice cream things. Like, ugh. Like, no, thank you. So I leave the park, and then I have a reservation at a pod hotel. So I really wanted to check those out, and they're pretty small. They're actually kind of nice. I've stayed in a hostel before, and it's actually, I think, better than a hostel, because like a normal hostel, you go into your room and you have a bunch of beds laying next together, or you maybe have like a bunk bed, and you just climb in, people's smelly feet and all that kind of stuff. But in the pod hotel, it's pretty much the same setup, but you have some privacy because you can pull your shades down and no one can see inside your little pod, and they have like a screen that has like maybe the TV that has like maybe 3 stations. That was kind of useless. You have your lights you can turn off and on and whatnot. So it was actually fairly comfortable. I'm 5'9", 5'10", and there was enough room for me to lay down with my feet kind of like right at the edge of the doorway. So if you're not tall or you're not like morbidly obese or anything, I'd say stay in a pod hotel. I saw a few businessmen go there. I actually stayed for $16. I reserved before I went there, and the price was like $14 online. I think Orbitz or something like that. And with tax and whatnot, it ended up coming out to $16. So, perfect, $16. That's a good deal. I slept. They had showers. They had like, I think, 4 different individual showers, and they had like a main bathroom with the toilets and everything. It was clean and efficient. So yeah, that was a pretty good stay. So yeah, I did that. Looked around town a little bit. Then I headed back to Tokyo. But before I went to Tokyo, I stopped in Kyoto, and I saw a few of the sites there. They have this shrine called the Fushi Inari Shrine. I believe that's what it is. It's like a dog god shrine. I wasn't really sure. I'd never heard of it before. It's one of those tourist attractions kind of marked down. So I go there, and there's like, I know the place is famous for having a lot of steps, a lot of like, there's these big orange pillars. There's like a lot of them going way up into the hills and whatnot. start doing that trek, and as I'm going that way, I see like a side pass, and it says, "Oh, take this pass to the something or something temple." And I'm kind of like, "Oh well, let me go see this other temple." So I'm thinking I'm just gonna walk up a hill, maybe put on some binoculars and see a temple out in the side. But in actuality, I ended up walking probably 3-4 miles, a long time. You end up leaving the shrine, going down into a town, going into the main street of town, going down the main street of town, and then off to the side, there was another path saying, "Oh, go this way to the shrine." So I go there, and the shrine is closed. So I ended up walking all that way for nothing. And this time I'm kind of like, oh, it's a little warm. My feet are starting to get a little tired. So I kind of go back, trace my steps. Well, I don't want to go back to the shrine all the way back that way. So I kind of, find my way around and get to another train station. And at this point, there was another shrine there I wanted to go visit. I forget the name of it, but it has like a giant golden Buddha. But at this point, I was pretty much done walking. So I decided it's time to head back to Japan. So I went on my train and went home. I did find, however, that 7-Eleven does take your cards. I had read that online that they take credit cards and whatnot. So I tried my regular debit card there, and it took that. So my money problem was solved. So I didn't have to worry about that. I tried that. I think I tried that before I left Osaka, and it worked. So I had cash on me at this time, thankfully. So yeah, anyway, I get back to Japan. I figured, well, back to Akihabara, I guess. I guess this is a good point to point out some of the shopping there. If you're going to go there, you might want to know, where to spend your money. SoftMap is kind of like a general electronics store. You find those over the place in Akihabara. There's like, TVs, home care products, computers and stuff like that. They do have an anime and video game floor that has that stuff. It has a decent selection, but nothing great. Torino Anna is another store you'll see. They have it's pretty much exclusively manga. They have magazines on the first floor. Then they have manga books and whatnot. I think they actually have a spin-off store. It might be a different chain, but I think it's Torino Anna that's close by that has CDs and idol stuff as well. But there's that. Mulan is the used store where you can buy model kits, figures, games, and whatnot. And the pricing is pretty good there. They have a bottom store has a bunch of the more pricey stuff, and then they have the regular stuff on the top and whatnot. Let's see. Oh, Animate. Animate is I think the anime hot topic. I believe that's how I would describe it. All the the new trendy popular stores shows are there. You'll find keychains, cups, mugs, shirts, and stuff like that for whatever is being broadcast right now. Seem to be kind of mostly girls there. I don't know if there's a specific reason for that, but that seemed to be that kind of thing. I think K-Books and Ikebura, or whatever the place it is, another part of town is also kind of the place where girls go. And they have the the popular series and everything like that. So those are the main stores you'll see. There's Traders, of course, which is a video game store. But yeah, so when you go to the stores, there's kind of the different floors. You've probably heard this a million times if you watch these videos. But the first floor is regular stuff. And you go up a floor that may have rare stuff, or maybe the first floor has used stuff, and then the next floor has new stuff. Then you go up another floor, and some of the stores may have adult content here. For example, if you go into one store, I think first floor is regular, magazines. The second floor is manga. The third floor is a doujin, fan-made stuff. And the next floor is adult, quote, comics and whatnot. And then the top floor is actual, just, straight up porn. I didn't get stopped anywhere. I walked all through these stores, all the different floors, looked at all the different merchandise, and no one said, "Hey, you can't come in here foreign or go away." So you don't have to worry about that. You were able to browse it. Some of the stuff I wish I had not seen, but they have. It's there. If you're looking for it, it's there. I was kind of surprised, especially at the manga, at the doujin. I'm aware of what doujin is, and I'm aware of what a lot of people do when they make doujin. But some of the stuff I saw there is just how is this legal? The imagination runs wild. So yeah, those are the kind of the stores you're gonna see there. So I went back there. At this point, I figured I need to buy some stuff. So first, I went to the official Akihabara gift shop, bought some different Kit Kats and whatnot, some gifts and edible gifts. And I went to Don Quixote, which is like the big store where they have like AKB48 bar and whatnot, which I didn't go to because I'm not into idols. I almost went to that by accident just because I kind of wandered into the floor. I looked at it, and I was kind of like, no, and went back downstairs. So yeah, I just got up. They have like a bunch of like grocery stuff, souvenirs, like fake like anime wines. I think where one had Lum Lum from man, I'm an old man from well, if you know who Lum Lum is, you know what that's from. I've never actually watched the show besides like 3 episodes, but it's like a really old '80s show. So they had different branded stuff like that. So did a little shopping there. I bought like every flavor of Kit Kat I could find. So I actually didn't even eat those. I just gave those away as gifts. But found a lot of stuff like raisin, like hot pepper, cheesecake, just green tea, strawberry, a lot of stuff. I guess you can get strawberry here, but just a lot of stuff. So I did that. Went back to the arcades, played some more King, leveled up. They had some game there called Gunstringer Stratos, which has a bunch of like licensed characters from Square Enix. I really noticed that those types of games are really popular. It's the type of game where kind of, I guess, the new Dragon Ball Z game is like this Xenoverse where it's a fighting game, but it's like instead of like Street Fighter where your characters on each side of the screen they battle each other, instead it's like one character is here, one character is there, and it's in 3D and you kind of run around and zoom in. Gunstringer Stratos is a game like that, except it has the gun as the gimmick, so you have to kind of like shoot people and run and jump. It's like, I mean, for me it was very confusing how to kind of move and shoot and know all the stuff, but it really seemed like games like that, not necessarily with the shooting, but with the running around in 3D attacking were like all the rage. I saw Final Fantasy Dissidia, not Dissidia, yeah, I guess it's called Dissidia, the new Final Fantasy game that hasn't come out yet. They were doing a trial test there. It's a game like that. People were playing it. They had a Dragon Ball Z game like that where people were playing it. I think there was a Gundam game, which was really popular. A lot of people were playing that. I think it's the same type of thing. So that seems to be all the rage in Japan. I've never been able to get into that type of game, but maybe I should, give it a go. I did have an issue where I lost a bag. That was very weird for me because I went to a Club Sega to play some games, and I think I lost it in the bathroom because I set all my bags down, played the Sega urinal game, which I probably showed you some footage of. Alright, I don't have much in me, but let's see what happens. Push. I guess you just play. And then I went and played some Tekken, and when I got up, I noticed, this doesn't, it doesn't seem heavy enough. Like all my bags, it seems like something's missing. But the guy next to me didn't take anything, and I kind of look around. There's no bag laying on the floor. So I figure it's just my imagination. It wasn't until later. I think this happened like on Friday or something like that. This wasn't until like Sunday that I realized that I was indeed missing a bag. So I went back to the Club Sega. And I tried to explain to the guy what happened, but he didn't speak any English, and he was getting pissed off. He didn't like slap me in the face, but I could tell he was getting frustrated trying to figure out what I was trying to ask him, like asking if he had my bag and whatnot. So eventually he just like, let me go check. So he goes back. I don't think he actually checks. He just kind of walks out of the distance, out of my view, comes back in, gives me a big X, no, and just walks off. Pretty rude, but whatever. So I lost either someone stole my bag or I just lost the bag, so that was gone. It was nothing big. It was like a Famitsu, a Shonen Jump, and maybe some Dojin. But, oh well. Whatever. It was just like a random purchase, maybe $20, nothing too serious. So there's that. So a lot of people say like the Japanese people are super nice. I didn't really get that vibe. They weren't rude to me, but when you go to a store, people will say, I don't know what they say. They say something really fast, and they'll be like, they'll polite and they hand you your bag and everything. But it's very matter of fact. It's just like this is what you're supposed to do when you work this job. It's not genuine. It doesn't come from the heart. That passion isn't in it. Most of the time, people are just kind of, this is my line I say when I hand someone a bag. Blah 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 blah. Here you go. Every now and then, someone will be pretty friendly, but I did really nice isn't what the word I would say. I would say it's a matter of fact. It's maybe polite, but not necessarily. There's no genuineness to the niceness. It's just this is what you do. I even had an instance where I was at the McDonald's and the lady said, your order's ready in Japanese. I didn't catch it. Then she said it again in English, and like the Japanese is very polite, and the English is like your order. It's like just a very generic voice, kind of like, hey, come get your food. So there's that. Some people may disagree, but my impression of the Japanese is not that they're super nice. It's just that they're kind of matter of fact. No one was openly rude to me necessarily, but I wasn't like overcome with niceness. I've heard stories of like people asking for directions and people grabbing their bags and leading them over there. That did not happen to me. I don't know if there was a specific reason for that, or if it's just I didn't run into those types of people. But yeah, no one was rude to me. But no one was friendly to me, overtly friendly to me. No strangers came up and started talking to me or asking me or questions about hip hop or anything like that. So yeah, that was my time in Japan. All in all, I had a pretty good time. I didn't do a few things that I intended to do there. I was going to see some female wrestling, but I didn't get around to doing that. I wanted to go to a hot spring, but if you're going to go to a hot spring, you more or less have to designate 2 days of your time there, because all of the real hot springs, like the fancy ones you want to stay in, if you want to have the perfect little anime experience, they're all like a half a day trip out of the way. So you pretty much have to take 1 day to travel there, then maybe 1 day to lay around and soak up the hot water and whatnot, then another half a day to travel back to town. So I didn't want to waste a day or two just at a hot spring, just sitting around. That's not me. That's not what I wanted to do. So I didn't get to do that. And of course, the robot restaurant. There were a few other things that I had on my list of my things to check out and see that I didn't really get to do. But overall, I had a pretty good time. It was pretty much, Akihabara. That's where I spent my time. Walking around, sightseeing, shopping, whatnot. I enjoyed myself. Will I go back again is the question, and the answer to that is probably yes. I wasn't blown away by my time in Japan, but if I ever actually learn Japanese, I'm already forgetting what little Japanese I learned, but if I actually sit down and learn how to do some conversational Japanese, I would definitely go back. I think that was probably the biggest limiting factor. I mean, it didn't stop me from doing anything, but it made me uncomfortable trying to talk to people. I didn't go to a lot of restaurants because I wouldn't be able to read the menu, that kind of thing. So if I ever go back, I would like to actually learn some decent amount of Japanese, then go back. And I probably would have a very different time going there. And I'd also recommend, if you're going to go to Japan, to bring someone with you. I went by myself, which was pretty cool. I have no schedule or anything, but I really feel like that's something where it would be better if you could geek out with a friend. So if you're going to go to Japan, I would advise, if you can, bring a friend with you or get a pen pal in Japan that you can meet up with. So that was my trip to Japan, and I hope you enjoyed it.